I'm usually a dark screen person or a dark mode person, but I feel like it should be light mode. It's kind of bright here. Hello, everyone. I'm Ankita. I don't have slides, but I have a slide of my introduction from a talk that I gave some time ago. But this is me. If you all will humor me, I like to do this fun thing when I'm speaking in a smaller crowd. I like to do the 2 truths and a lie. So if you want to come back at the end of my talk to tell me what my lie is. But oh, with 2 mics? Maybe I need to clip it higher.
I think it's just not facing your mouth.
I think it's connected. I probably need to straighten it. How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. It would have been funny if I kept talking and no one said that they couldn't hear me. But I'm Ankita. I've been living here in Austin, Texas for 5 years, I think, which is the longest that I've ever lived in my life. So, oh yeah, I said I'll do 2 truths and a lie, so that could be the first thing. The second thing is when I was little, I fractured my left cheekbone. And the third thing is that the first and last musical that I ever watched in my entire life is the Book of Mormon. And I laughed my head off, and I kind of got kicked out because I was laughing too loud in Broadway in New York. So these are my socials. You can find me on Zitter, LinkedIn. I'm not that active on Twitter/Zitter/X, but Blue Sky. And I recently started a YouTube channel with my coworker. We call ourselves Web Vibes Only. I think we have like 4 videos so far, which are like short videos of us nutting about all things related to web. Okay, that's enough about me. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm also a Google developer expert in Angular. That's what that logo is for. And I just have a hard time answering how long I've been working for since the pandemic, but I think, well, I've been a front-end engineer all my adult life. I don't remember how long I've been working with Angular, but substantial amount of years, I think 3, maybe 5 years, actually, now that I think of it. And so today I'm going to talk about AI and Angular and all the things adjacent to it. I also like to tell people that I thrive in spaces which are kind of low-key controversial / people have harsh opinions about them in the front-end world, like Angular or CSS. People love it, hate it, or don't really care for it. Is this maybe? I think it's fine. But yeah, so recently the Angular team has introduced AI prompts that you could, not prompts, I think like an AI README file that you could download and add that kind of tells your LLM of choice that it should rely on modern Angular practices and modern technologies really adjacent to Angular that you might be using around TypeScript or best practices around CSS, just so that if you're not familiar, Angular has been evolving a lot. It's kind of in its renaissance phase. It's been evolving a lot. So a lot of times when you would prompt AI to generate some Angular code, it would not be the latest Angular code, or it would not be what the latest version of Angular code should look like signals or standalone and things like that. So this kind of helps with that, and I just wanted to share that. There are all these rules files based on your favorite AI IDE that you can just install and try it out, and it kind of adheres to the modern Angular practices and makes your life easy like that if you ever want to dive into it. And I mean, your experience with Angular could be anywhere between 10 years to 10 months, or maybe you just tried it a month ago. However, to encourage people to try it, the Angular team, actually today officially, released this modern AI tutor, Angular tutor. It's an open source project and you can check it out. It's based on a static tutorial, but it's open source and you can kind of see how it's built with AI. So if you go to github.com/angular/AI-tutor and click on Try in Firebase Studio, which is another Google AI IDE, if people are not familiar with it. It kind of opens and spins up that project. I've done this already, and so this is what it will look like, because it takes like 2 seconds for it to build it. So what you see, the web preview, is what you would typically see when you an Angular CLI command when you run ng-new. This is a blank template of a project that you would see ever. And so, actually, maybe you can, it has a very extensive README file that tells you how it runs and how it works. And it also has the AI rules MD file, which it might not be that clearly visible, but again, it starts with your primary role is then to be an Angular tutor and what are the core practices, and it kind of has laid out a tutorial for you to follow. And I can do a quick demo of it. You just started with, or you wake the tutor by saying hello. And it's integrated with Gemini, so you just say hello, and depending on your internet, it says, hello, I'm an Angular tutor, blah, 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 and it lays out the plan for you for a tutorial. The fun part about this is that it's not a copy-paste kind of a learning tutorial. It gives you an objective, and it asks you to solve for it. So in this case, it wants us to build a smart recipe box. And it's a box application, and it's asking what your experience level is from a scale of 1 to 10. The lower the number, I think the more detailed explanation it gives. So let's just go with 4. And then it will just takes a minute to load, but it will tell you what the next steps are. And at any point, you can skip a module or jump to a module or try all the modules. Like in this case, the first step that it wants you to do is it's explaining the why and the what, like app.ts is the file where your core component is or your application starts, and it's giving you the objective and the outcome, and you're supposed to go to that file and try to do it, but you can't. If you can't do it, you can also be like, do it for me, and they'll update the file. I don't think it'll be that productive of an activity for everyone to watch me do it, but I'll just do table of contents to give you an idea of what are the steps or the modules in this tutorial for everyone to follow to see. So phase 1 is fundamentals and state and signals, component architecture, and then some advanced architectural things about Angular. You can just skip to phase 3, and it'll kind of build the files for you that you would have built if you did all the phases together. So it's fun to try it out. I would say, I don't know, I like to see what's happening in all the frameworks and try different tutorials for them. So this just got released today, so I thought it would be fun to share with this group. If I have time, I can do one more thing. Okay, so the other thing the Angular team actually released today is this another open source project, Web Code Scorer. It's not specific to any framework. It's basically a tool for evaluating the quality of code that AI would spit out for you, because it might spit out anything that might not meet your accessibility standards or your own coding guidelines or principles that you might have for your project. And this just makes it easier to evaluate that and iterate on that and improve the quality of the code that's generated. I haven't really tried this out yet because, like I said, they just announced this earlier. But there's a big blog post about it, and it's actually framework agnostic. So it's not specific to Angular. You can install it in your project, and they have an example of it's solid over here, that when you run it, it compares, and you can use whatever model you would like to, and it's built on Jenkins, so it compares all the security, runtime, all the other parameters that it has for the quality of code that's generated, and kind of gives you an idea, and then you can iterate on it and improve on it in that sense. So yeah, it's not framework agnostic, but right now I think they only have added it, or they've only tried it out in Angular and Solid.js. I think that also comes from the fact that they're both heavily signal-based frameworks. Maybe something about that, but okay, that's my spiel. Thank you.